Live from clickorlando.com, this is News 6 at 5:30. This is a News 6 Plus takeover. Here now is Chief Meteorologist Tom Sorrells with Talk to Tom.
Welcome back, everyone. I am Chief Meteorologist Tom Sorrells. It is Talk to Tom time. But first, I get to talk to you, the viewer at home. This is a big-time concept that started out here, and having this on TV is kind of a big-time dream come true for me. We started Talk to Tom back in 2004 during Hurricane Charlie, when people were calling in with questions, and I was able to just answer them. And finally, Angel Blasquez, one of the EPs here, said, hey, why don't we just let them ask you live on the air, and you could zoom in on radar to where they are. And that's how this all started. So it started that way, grew into something on Facebook later, and the management fell in love with it. So here I am doing this every Thursday afternoon at 5:30. Talk to Tom. We're going to start today's show with our friend Krista Matson. Krista, are you there? Can you hear me?
I am.
All right, Krista, you actually shot video of what looked like snow on your rooftop a few weeks back during that cold snap in December. Kind of set the stage for us. What happened to you that morning?
That was Christmas morning, and being from up north, I know the sound of sleet when it hits the window. And it was hitting my front window, and I looked out my back patio door and saw it coming down, and I was like, oh wow, we're having a white Christmas.
What day was that?
So, that was Christmas morning.
It was Christmas morning.
Yeah, it was about 10 o'clock in the morning.
Okay, now allegedly, for it to be a white Christmas, you're supposed to have an inch of snow on the ground.
Well, this is Florida white Christmas.
But by our standards, I'm gonna have to give it to you. You did have sleet. We're going to show the picture right now in the video that you shot of what was going on that you posted. And for the folks at home who are looking at it, it does look, it's white. It's not hailstones. It's not from summertime thunderstorms. It's from a cold air mass, and it's moisture falling on Christmas Day. So it kind of was a little Christmas miracle, wasn't it, Krista?
Oh, yep, it sure was for here.
Okay, so did you rush right out in your slippers,
Oh, yeah.
or did you dress up, or what'd you do? Because you could have missed it. It didn't last long, did it?
Oh, no, I jumped right up with my phone, turned on the video, and I said, I got to get this.
Okay.
And I just started shooting.
You do understand that it truly wasn't snowflakes, it's sleet, right?
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Okay, what happens normally, that would have started out as snowflakes at a higher elevation and then melted through a warm layer of air and refrozen before it started pelting all of Brevard County and your house in particular. Snowflakes are light and fluffy and crystal-like, and sleet, as you said, tapping your window. Snowflakes don't, they fall silently. But sleet does not. Sleet makes that little pecking sound, not big like hailstones, and not slushy like grapple. Sometimes up north we would have like what would be sleet, but it was soft and kind of wet. That's grapple. What you had on Christmas Day was truly sleet, right?
Correct.
Okay. It didn't make the ground
sparkled and everything.
just in time for the big celebration. So when you say up north, where are you from up north? Where you say, were you used to snow? Were you from the Midwest, or where are you from?
I'm originally from Western Maryland.
What town?
Cumberland.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know Cumberland, Maryland. Do you know where, Frederick, Maryland is, close to Baltimore?
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Yep.
Yeah. I've been through there a lot. My wife was born over there in Maryland and grew up in the D.C. area. We got engaged right there in Ocean City, Maryland. Do you know where that is?
Been there. Spent a lot of time there.
Okay, her place that they had was right there on the north side of OC, right before it crosses the Delaware border, right there by Billy's Sub Shop. I want to say, is that like 147th or 174th? I can't remember the streets.
I don't remember.
How many streets go up? But it's, Billy's Sub Shop is like right there on the beach. And if you back up and go the other way, you hit Harpoon Hannah's on the other side.
Mm-hmm. I remember Harpoon Hannah's.
There we go. That's good stuff. How long have you been living down here in Florida?
Oh, let me see. About 22 years now.
Okay, so it's been a long time since you've seen snow.
Not that well. I would say about 10 years ago we went up for Christmas and we had snow.
Okay. Were you here in January of 2010?
Yes.
Okay, on January the 9th, 2010, we had sleet like you're talking about, or maybe some graupel that fell through Seminole County. I remember a time back maybe in 2004 or 5 in Brevard County, one December morning, I was doing a career day at one of the schools in Melbourne, and we had cold air in place, overnight low about 28, and a little bit of sea breeze backed up from a low and came in, and we had a few snowflakes flying. But in all the years you've been here, this is the biggest winter precipitation you've ever seen, correct?
That is correct.
All right.
That
Yeah, people
I've
went
seen
nuts.
some, I have seen a little bit of snowflakes just blowing in the air, but nothing like this.
That could actually accumulate on your shingles for at least a little while.
Exactly.
You have any more questions for us on Talk to Tom, Krista, or can I let you go?
You can let me go, and I enjoyed sharing my video with you all, and Happy New Year.
Hey, Happy New Year to you. If it happens again, dial us
I'll be
back
on
up,
it.
okay? All right,
I'll
thanks,
be
Krista.
on it.
I
All right,
appreciate you
thank
checking
you.
in. Thank you. Have a great time. Happy New Year.
Bye-bye.
All right, let's talk about some other interesting things weather-wise that have been going on in Central Florida lately. Check this out. This is a fog bow. Not a rainbow, but a fog bow. The National Weather Service in Melbourne shared this photo from Vieira. What that is really is that it is sort of a rainbow, only it's being caused by fog. And the angle of the light hitting the little water droplets hits it at just the right angle that it splinters. And we always say it acts like a prism. It sets that up for that fog bow. This is about as good of a fog bow as I've ever seen anyone take a picture of. Sometimes you'll get them when the sun is setting low or the fog is setting in early in the morning. And sometimes you'll get them at night from a big, bright, full moon. But it'll be kind of a colorless, almost a bow that just looks kind of smeared light that makes that arc curve. That's the same thing happening only at night, reflective of the moonlight. Instead of it being totally beautiful colored, it's a weaker light. It's more of a, like you took your thumb and smeared it across there. Makes it look like that at night more than what you're seeing in this particular really well done picture. So there you go, a fog bow. They do happen. Everything happens in Central Florida. We got it all. All right, let's talk about lightning. Everyone knows about lightning. I preach the dangers of it all the time. One area in Central Florida, though, is the worst. Now, we know that just about year in and year out, somewhere along the I-4 corridor is going to be the area that gets a lot of lightning. That's a zone that is the national winner just about every year for lightning. A new report just came out that has now named the Four Corners as the lightning capital of the world. Now, we talk about this a lot. The reason we end up with so many thunderstorms and so much heavy lightning in Central Florida is because of our proximity to all the ingredients that are necessary to produce a thunderstorm or lightning. We get it almost year round. We go through the dry season that we're in right now, but that doesn't stop frontal zones from coming in, producing thunderstorms even through the winter. But most of our lightning strikes, most of our big damaging storms happen during the mean season, the wet season. Anytime from about May 20th all the way around till about October 18th or October 21st, we end up with what we call the wet season. And every day, the peninsula heats up, the sea breezes kick in. We have dew points that are well past 50, 55. Much of the time, our dew points, our relative humidity are sky high. So we have abundant moisture, we have motion, and we have lift. And it lifts that moisture higher into the atmosphere when those sea breezes collide. And when they do, the thunderstorms rock and roll. So we end up in Central Florida with more lightning strikes along the I-4 corridor than just about anywhere in Central Florida. But the brand new place, the one place that got more than anyone per capita per square mile, was the Four Corners. So there you go. Congratulations. I don't know that it's a title that anyone really wants to win. Last year it was Geneva that won all the counts. This year it was the Four Corners. So for at least one more year, Four Corners is the lightning capital of North America. Not really the world, but at least North America. So do be careful. Remember, lightning can flash at you from out of the blue. It's something you do not want to have happen to you. It can kill you. And for a lot of people that it does not kill, they end up telling me they wish they were dead. People I've interviewed who have survived some lightning strikes have varied from I'm totally recovered to I will never be the same person again. It can destroy everything. So I know you've lived here a long time, some of you, and I know some of you have just moved here. But lightning is our leading cause of death, except for floods and heat nationwide. But lightning here in Central Florida used to claim about 10 people a year. Now we're down to about 5. It's because of the education and people like me barking at you, telling you to please take cover. So that's a wrap. All right, we'll stop talking about lightning. And remember, if you can see it, flee it. If you can hear it, you got to fear it. It's really close. If you can hear the rumblings of thunder, you have to stay inside. All right, if you have other questions or would like to be on Talk to Tom, just go to clickorlando.com/Talk to Tom. And make sure to stick around as we talk about the money available for people impacted during the recent hurricane season. We're talking big money for homes and business owners. Stay with us. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Talk to Tom. I am Chief Meteorologist Tom Sorrells. I can't thank you enough for being here. This past hurricane season was tough on us all. It devastated parts of Central Florida, leaving local home and business owners with a big mess on their hands, and lots of expenses, too. But for those of you who need help, assistance is available, but the deadline is fast approaching. In fact, the deadline to apply for assistance is today. Our friend Lori Dana is here. She is the Special Affairs Specialist with the Small Business Administration. Hi, Lori. How are you today?
Hi, I'm doing great. Thank you for having me here.
I'm so glad you took time out of your day to help us get the word out. Now, let's talk about what they need to know. First, the deadline is today, right? It's Thursday, the 12th.
Yes, it is. And it's not too late. I really encourage you, if you haven't already, if you're waiting for your insurance to settle, if you haven't made up your mind and you're undecided, just go in and apply. You can apply online at sba.gov. Mm-hmm. You can go to a business recovery center or a disaster recovery center, and to get the location, you can go to sba.gov and click on Hurricane Ian or Nicole and find out where the closest business recovery center or disaster recovery center is to you. And you can also call 1-800 and have an application mailed to you, but I don't advise that because today is the deadline. So go, it's really easy to apply. If you go to the Business Recovery Center or the Disaster Recovery Center, they can help you through the process. Just bring your ID, know your Social Security number, have a good idea of what your finances are. Or you can apply online. A lot of people do it that way. It's easy. Homeowners can apply for disaster loans to make repairs to their primary residence. They can apply for disaster loans to replace the contents of their homes, as well as renters. And businesses can apply for disaster loans as well.
Okay, so we're talking about who qualifies then. I lost virtually nothing. I live inland far enough, and the wind over my house was only maybe 55 to 60 miles per hour. So I did okay. I lost some pool stuff, like pool screens ripped up. You're not talking about people like me. You're talking about people who were hurt. Who are you looking for, really?
If you had any damage at all, we can assist you. If you, as long as you get that application in, and if you're a homeowner, you can apply for a disaster loan, like I said, to make repairs to your building, replace the contents of your home. Renters can apply to replace the contents, businesses to make repairs. It's only for disaster-related damages from the hurricanes. You can't apply to remodel your house, but to replace that contents, rebuild, we really encourage you to apply. And especially if you were referred by FEMA, it's part of the qualifying process for FEMA Other Needs Assistance Program. Okay. If you're not offered a disaster loan, if you're a homeowner or renter, you're referred back to FEMA for any other assistance that you might qualify for, but you have to get that application in to be eligible. You don't have to accept a disaster loan. You have time to make up your mind. If you get that application in and you decide you don't want one, but 6 months later you decide that, yes, you really did need a disaster loan, then you just submit a request for to get it reinstated, but you have to submit that application before the deadline.
Okay, so talk to me about how much money can people get? You're talking about big numbers here, I would assume, if you're talking about damage to a house.
Yeah.
on the coast.
If your house is flooded, that's going to cause a whole lot of damage. Or if your roof needs repairs, the homeowners, they can borrow up to $200,000 to make repairs to their primary residence. And then homeowners and renters can borrow up to $40,000 to replace the contents of their homes. Businesses can apply for disaster loans up to $2 million for property damage. But businesses can also apply for working capital to help pay those bills that they would have been able to pay if the hurricanes hadn't happened. So for businesses that had financial losses because of the hurricanes, say people couldn't get to them, power was off, it hit during tourist season, there is help for those financial losses.
Yeah, so $200,000 is a pretty big number, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
it is.
To me, anyway.
But if it was flooded and a lot of homes had substantial amount of damages.
Why would people be more interested in applying for this loan instead of like other loans?
Well, the interest rates are really low. They're as low as 2.188% for homeowners and renters, with terms up to 30 years. And the first year is 0% interest, and the first payment can be deferred for up to a year. And that's a lot more affordable to replace the contents of your home than using a credit card and most loans elsewhere, especially with today's interest rates. So like I said, it's very low interest, long-term disaster loans. First year is 0%. And so those are some good reasons to...
yeah, I would say so. No interest for a year, and then you said it's 2.1?
2.188% as low as, for homeowners and renters.
For
and
30
most
years.
everybody,
Wow.
that's the usual rate.
That is low, low, low. Okay, a lot of folks may have just tuned in. We air here every week. I know you're in California. I'm in Florida. We air in the 5:30 hour. So let me say that some folks may have just gotten home from work and may be tuning in during the middle of this. So let's give them more information again. Run down, where can people go to apply for the loan and get more information? Just run through that again.
Okay, so you can get one-on-one assistance at a business recovery center, and you can find out those locations to the one closest to you at sba.gov. Just click on the link to get information about Hurricane Ian or Hurricane Nicole, and the link that says fact sheet, that'll take you to the locations for disasters and business recovery centers. And then you can also apply online at sba.gov. Again, that's www.sba.gov, and you can apply right there online. The deadline is January 12th. That's today. So if you haven't already applied, get your application in. You don't have to wait for insurance to apply. If you haven't made up your mind whether you want to apply, I would apply anyway. If you decide later that you want to accept the loan, you have time to make up your mind. So just as long as you get that application in, that's the first step.
I have to tell you, Laura, I think that sounds like a great deal, and I appreciate you running through that again. There are folks I know in the market, like in Astor and on the coast, and even on the St. Johns River away, or in Seminole County away from the St. Johns River, whose damage was phenomenal. And I would love for them to get the help they so richly deserve.
Yeah,
Listen,
we really want to help everybody that we can. And just keep your options open. And if you haven't already, go ahead and submit that application.
All right.
It doesn't cost anything. It's just your time.
Thank you so much for being here, Lori. I appreciate you showing up and joining us on Talk to Tom. All right.
Well, thank you very much for having me.
Oh, love. You were a great guest. Thank you so much for being here. All right. For those of you who watch every week, we're here every Thursday. If you'd like to submit a question for Talk to Tom, and your question be on our show, just go to clickorlando.com/talk-to-tom. Thank you all so much for being here. I'll see you on the powerful KMG at 4, 4:35, 5:36, 7, and 11. Of course, we'll be right back here next Thursday afternoon at 5:30 with Talk to Tom.